Floodwaters breaching a dam outside of Dallas right now as the death toll rises from a series of Memorial Day weekend storms in the Midwest. Hi, everyone. I'm Gretchen Carlson, and this is The Real Story. 13 people have been killed as cars. This judge once again says, no, you can't do it.
Yeah, well, this is what happens when you have a president who treats the Constitution as a mere suggestion, consent of Congress, and the courts now are really turning him back.
It's interesting because other presidents, of course, have issued executive actions. I think actually President Bush, George W. Bush, had more than President Obama, but I guess it's the way in
co-equal branch of government known as Congress, the people's representatives.
Okay, meantime, a new call for the GOP to create a so-called bigger tent by reaching out more to minorities. And it comes from presidential candidate Rand Paul, who sat down with me earlier. I want to talk about your book, Taking a Stand. One of the things you say in here
of a lot of young black men.
In what way?
Our overzealousness with the war on drugs. I think that putting someone in jail, Americans in our cities, there's a higher concentration of poor people, but we're locking up a generation of young men that I think would be, that have a leave that money in Detroit.
What's the reception been to some of these ideas?
You know, quite good, actually.
So be a bit polarizing on certain issues. So is he the best person to open the tent? That question to Monica.
Well, look, he's one of the few potential candidates who are watching what he's doing in a very fearless way and saying, look, you know, the Democrats have been taking the black vote and the Latino vote for granted.
Monica Crowley, thank you so much.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Time for my take now. Back to President Obama, apparently, in bribes. So, Doug, you know, will these awards to Russia and Qatar, could they go away as a result of this?
I think they could. Were created by that individual. I think it's going to make the case pretty strong.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to this because prosecutors announcing an indictment against a New York woman accused of killing her fiancé by intentionally drowning him last month on a kayaking trip.
I've been in contact with the victim's mother. My heart goes out to her, and I've counseled
Casey Anthony, and it didn't convict her.
Well, that was interesting because we've seen so many cases where you can't judge somebody's guilt on how they about now because the State Department confirming that the release of Hillary Clinton's emails in monthly batches is going to start on June 30th, with all of the nearly 55,000 pages of documents to be made public by January 2016. All of this overshadowing Mrs. Clinton's debut appearance in the first in the South primary state of South Carolina as a 2016 presidential candidate. Chief White House correspondent, well, wild and dangerous weather across the country. We're not just talking about the deadly flooding that we've been telling you. Now for a quick check of your headlines. Iraq says ISIS has carried out multiple suicide attacks in western Anbar province, killing at least 17 troops. This coming just hours after Iraq announced an operation to recapture areas under the terrorist control. The IRS revealing thieves were able to steal tax return information from 100,000 people like you and me in U.S. households, and they did it by entering stolen information into the agency's website. And a spokesman for former Pennsylvania Senator Rick Santorum confirms he will indeed be making a second run for the White House. The Republican won 11 states in the last presidential primary.
Our privacy, we're giving up what we're supposedly fighting for.
Visualize how we have come so far with technology. So what happens if there's a lapse in this program and a terrorist attack happens? Will you feel guilty?
Well, the Russians tipped us off to him. I'm all for looking at his records. Why weren't we looking at his records? Why didn't we know that he flew back to Russia?
Right.
Same with the Simpson character out of Phoenix.
Valid issues, but I'm just wondering if, in fact, this lapses this weekend and something happens. You know you're going to take a hit for that. So do you feel guilty if, in fact, that happens?
Right. I think it's the question of anything useful. There's been no breakthroughs. There has been no magic or silver bullet. We've continued to have attacks that also obeys the Bill of Rights.
Of the film to the A word because people's feelings, dates they have. Everybody loves Hawaii. Hawaii is the most
show because I have a feeling you're going to be talking about issues like this potentially.
We're going to be all over this stuff. It's hard-hitting news, Gretchen. Non-stop from the beginning to the end. It's going to blow your mind. Well,
something I was a bit part in something secret, which we're not going to reveal.
It might be
that or a swimsuit. Okay, hey. I always do with my friends, #TellMeMore.
Right.
One thing, this is really...
The walking backwards is cultural appropriation.
Come on, let's try
Because you do it already. Where am I going?
You're going to walk backwards with me. Come on.
All right.
Because, you know, we had this little thing where you were kind of making fun of me on the 5.
Yes.
And you kind of cheated walking backwards, and then you reversed the tape.
No.
Yeah.
People accused me of walking forward and then reversing the tape.
Yes.
That was a lie, and there was no proof to that.
Except right there on the screen.
Oh, well, yeah. I hate it when I get called out on television. You know, but the thing is, it is hard to do because we don't have eyes back there.
Right, and you don't have on 5-inch heels.
Well, you don't know. There have been nights, Gretchen, when I want to feel pretty.
All right. Well, guess what? We're going to continue to walk backwards, except don't go away.
We're going down 6th Avenue.
We're coming right back with girls tackle football.
Oh.
Right back. Defining girl power in 2015, 5th and 6th grade girls hitting the gridiron in Utah for a tackle football league that is no boys allowed. Something to do, right? Shop while you're bored? Why not? Thanks for being part of The Real Story today. I'm Gretchen Carlson. Here's Shep.